Hey everybody, this is my Apex Legends tier list. I'm just going to make this really short and sweet, and I'm just going to go through each individual character and explain why they belong in these tiers and how they benefit you and your teams and how good the character is overall. This is including stuff like... And also a quick disclaimer I would like to make is that I have ranged my tier list from B to S. So I do not believe that there is a C tier in this game anymore, because I think that all the legends have been buffed and have been reworked to a point where they are all viable and all strong in their own unique ways, and the power of the legend at this point truly comes from the person who is actually playing the legend. Though there are some S tier legends are the best in the game. First off, in S tier, we have Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a defensive hybrid powerhouse who is good at basically everything in the game, and he provides a lot of value to the person playing him and his team. This specifically is with his passive gun shield, tactical dome of protection, and ultimate defensive bombardment. He also comes with a perk fortified, and all that really makes him a super solid character to play. His gun shield is super strong in 1v1s. His dome shield tactical is good for really good mini micro rotations. It provides good defense, and it has fast res on top of that. So if your teammate gets downed out in the open and you need to throw a dome on him to make sure he stays alive, well, that's the tactical for you. Next comes his ultimate, defensive bombardment, which complements the dome shield really well, because during fights you can throw down the ultimate while you're fighting to help force out enemy teams, move enemy teams, kill enemy teams, capitalize on advantages, use it for third parties and all sorts of stuff like that. And all that is really wrapped up into a neat bow with the fortified perk, which reduces all incoming damage, so punching, caustic gas, bullets, and he's not slowed by bullets, more specifically. So yeah, Gibraltar is an S tier legend, and he's one of, if not the best legends in the game. Next off in S tier, we have Bloodhound. He is a playmaking, wall hacking fucking machine. This guy, you can't hide from him, and he really just trivializes information in Apex, and he's a character if you need quick information, and he allows you to get a really good feel of what's going on around you. So first off, starting with his passive tracker, that allows him to track people indefinitely, almost like across the map, and it allows you to have a better awareness of your surroundings. Along with that comes his Eye of the Allfather tactical, which is basically the entire character. It's the whole character. The character is the tactical. This is basically just Bloodhound, his bread and butter. You press L1 and you get information, or on whatever PC you press Q or whatever. But you press that button, it gives you information, and you use that information to the best of your advantage. And his ultimate, Beast of the Hunt, it literally turns you into the ultimate hunter. You basically become a cheater. You have wall hacks, you can see through walls, you can run faster, and when you get knocks, it actually will just extend the duration of the ultimate, which will just make you insane, and you can go on a tear. And this character is really good at fragging out and making plays. And on top of that, he's a recon character, so he can also get survey beacons and scan to reveal the ring's next location. So overall, Bloodhound is like the ultimate information character. He's super easy to use, super simple, one of the easiest characters in the game to play, and he provides such good value on all elos of play. It doesn't matter if you're an Apex Predator, it doesn't matter if you're on Bronze, this character is just that good. He is solid. He is an S tier legend, and he is here to stay. Oh man, next we have Wraith in S tier. This character has been in S tier since the game came out, and she's going to be in S tier when the game dies. This character is just good. This character's abilities on paper and in execution, she is just good, and she will always be good. Her passive is basically just, it's in-game callouts. It's like, if you have someone looking at you, no one can get the drop on you with the passive. Well, if it works correctly. Sometimes it glitches out and you don't know what the fuck is going on. But for the most part, her passive is super good, and it just gives you information just by privy of someone just looking at you, so you know if there are teams in the area. Her tactical is Into the Void, and this has been reworked this has been reworked a little bit, but basically you just retreat into the safety of the void and you avoid all damage, and you get information on top of that because you can see people into the void, and you can use it as almost a scouting ability. And this tactical is so versatile. It does so much, and it manages to keep the character safe, and it really helps Wraith out. On top of that, she also has a small hitbox, so it gives her good evasive and mobility properties, so she can frag out, she can be a scouting character, she's super versatile. And when it comes to her ultimate, her Dimensional Rift, it is super versatile. You can use it to block doors, you can use it to find paths to new locations with your team, you can use it to port your team out. If your Wraith has a gold bag, she can port you out and then res you. Wraith is just so versatile. She's small, she's fast, and she's good, and she's always been good, and she's always going to be good. She's just the face of the game. That's just what it is. And she gets all the skins. I don't like that, but whatever. She's S tier, so fuck off. Coming up next in S tier is Valkyrie. With her passive, she has VTOL jets, and that allows her to 3D maneuver in the air Titanfall 2 style, which alone would make her an S tier legend. It gives her better evasibility, more speed, and she can grab high ground instantly. So that's just super strong within itself, which also complements well with her tactical missile swarm, which is like mini arc stars the tactical. It just disorients and damages the enemies in front of you in a large checkerboard pattern. It's super effective, it's super efficient, and it's only on a 25-second cooldown. So you can use it to pressure teams and be aggressive, or use it to secure knocks and stop reses. And all of that comes into a bow with her ultimate Skyward Dive, which allows her to redeploy herself or her entire team, and it's the best redeploy ability in the game, the best team mobility ultimate in the game. It has no rival. This is the best. You get wall hacks off of this. Well, not wall hacks, but you get sky hacks. It's a form of wall hacks, but you know, from the sky. You get to see everybody, so you know, you can just land on people and shit. It's super good in all elos of play, and competitive and ranked, and some people might dare say it's a little overpowered. And on top of that, she is a recon legend, which means that she can grab beacons, which makes her an even more invaluable piece of the team when it comes to having a recon legend. Alright, the newest legend in this game, Ashe. She is S tier, and she's here to stay in S tier as long as she doesn't get hard focused and nerfed by the developers. The reason why Ashe is S tier is just because of the combinations of her abilities and how strong those abilities are individually and how they work together overall in their kit. With her passive, Mark for Death, she constantly has awareness of all the fights that are going on around the map and all the places where it's hot, and she can mark other death boxes to help track down teams and finish them, which is really good for getting RP and ranked, and it can also be good for finding other teams in pubs to push on this giant Skyrim-like map. And in our tactical, we have Arc Snare. You throw a spinning snare that damages and tethers enemies that gets too close. It does good damage. It also keeps the enemy in a specific location. It can be good to finish knocks or focus down specific players. It's super versatile. You can stun people. It's really great with nades. I mean, it's the whole complete package in one tactical. And now we have our ultimate Phase Breach, which is one of the best mobility ultimates in the game, but it's not as good as Valkyrie's ultimate in terms of team mobility, but it is extremely good in terms of just getting fast position in fights, high ground and stuff like that, and being able to pull off crazy plays. So she is good individually when it comes to like fragging out and stuff, and she's also good when it comes to team mobility, which is why she is in S tier, and her hitbox is favorable, which means that she can abuse the shit out of it. So Ashe is here to stay in S tier. A tiers are runner up for the best, and A/B are very good characters. Alright, next off, we're in A tier, where here we have Pathfinder, a strong character, but not an OP character or a really amazing character. He's just really good at being upfront and aggressive, getting in and getting out very fast. and on top of that, he is a recon legend. So with his passive that's not really a passive but sort of a passive, he has insider knowledge, which helps out his ultimate cooldown, which is his zipline gun, which allows for team mobility and doing things like micro rotations or long rotations. And next off, we have his passive grappling hook. This is one of the most versatile tacticals in the game. He can get in of situations fast and out of situations fast, and makes him a good escape or aggro character on any team that he plays on. And next off, we have the zipline gun, which is just crazy. It's a team mobility ultimate that lets everyone use, or just Pathfinder. It doesn't really matter which. It's efficient, but it's not the greatest form of team mobility, which is why he is an S tier. But he is a recon on top of that, so overall, Pathfinder brings a lot of value to the team, but not as much value as someone like a Gibby or a Wraith or a Valkyrie would. So he is interchangeable, which is why he is in the lower tiers of this game. But he's still an S tier, so I mean, he's still an A tier, so he's a viable pick for any elo of play, I would say, in tournaments, high level ranked, and pubs. Fun character. Alright, also in A tier we have the speed demon himself, Octane. He doesn't stop, he doesn't slow down. This guy always pushes forward. The point of the character is to be hyper aggressive, which is why he has Swiftmen, which did get nerfed recently, but he does still heal passively over time, which supports the aggressive playstyle. And along with the aggressive playstyle comes his tactical stim, where he just runs fast, and he gets reductions to slows while active, which means any form of bullet slow or shell shock or caustic gas slow gets mitigated somewhat, and he's able to move faster and push in. So this character is all about forward, attack, third party, and that's all complemented with his launch pad that comes back every 90 seconds. Great team mobility, really good when complementing things like Revtane and other stuff, but he is just a really solid mobility character. Even though he's received some nerfs within the past couple of seasons, he's still super solid, and he keeps himself at A tier. He used to be an S, but he's not as good as he used to be anymore, but he is still solid. Next in A tier, we have Crypto himself, the surveillance expert. And this character is very misunderstood, very versatile, and very strong, and very hard to play. Crypto is a information character, to say the least, and he's sort of an information slash support character when it comes to his overall function in Apex Legends. So his passive Neuralink it just allows his team to see people. It's not super overwhelming or underwhelming. It's just a passive that's there, and he will be reworked soon, so maybe he can get some buffs, but it is somewhat lackluster, which does keep him from being higher in the tier list, but it does the job. Up next, his tactical surveillance drone. This is what Crypto is all about. Crypto is about the drone, but don't stay in your drone and die. We're supposed to use the drone in ways that help your team, and overall the drone gives you access to the EMP, allows you to scan beacons, allows you to grab banners and ping banners, and give you so much information and versatility that is what keeps Crypto up here in A tier. And his drone EMP is a really good counter to like stationary defensive characters, like you got Gibby, Caustic, and Wattson. He is a counter to all three of those guys, and on top of that, he is a recon legend, which helps him gather more information for his team. But back to the drone EMP, it does a lot of damage. It does 50 shield damage, it slows people, and it just eviscerates traps in all directions. So it's really good to push off of, and he is really good with legends like Octane and Ashe and Revenant, characters that really help you like push forward and be aggressive, pushing off that EMP and being able to make really cool plays. Even though he does take more of a passive role, Crypto is a very strong character at the end of the day. He's very misunderstood. Alright, here we have an A/S tier legend, which is Caustic. He is A tier at the beginning of the game and becomes S tier at the end of the game when the circles become a little more tight. So here, with this passive Nox vision, allows him to get threat vision and people moving in his gas, which is really good. It complements all of his other abilities, which are gas based, and his tactical, which is Nox gas traps. He can place 6 canisters of deadly Nox gas, and it ticks every other second and increases in damage indefinitely. This is one of the most oppressive tacticals in the game when used correctly, and can stop an entire team in their tracks, which makes Caustic one of, if not the best defensive legend in the game, next to Gibraltar. And on top of that, he's also fortified, which reduces all damage just like Gibby, and makes him sort of a mini tank, a mini off tank when compared to Gibraltar. And his ultimate gives him offensive and defensive variability, so he can use a Nox gas grenade on defense if his Nox gas traps are on cooldown, or he can just lob out his Nox gas grenade on a third party or on offense, which really helps secure Nox, secure kills, and helps finish off enemy teams. Overall though, Caustic is a powerhouse, and he is an A/S tier legend, and he's here to stay. Here, splashing into A tier, we have Horizon, the movement queen herself. She splashes into A tier with her passive spacewalk, which allows her to have increased air control and reduced fall impacts with her custom-made spacesuit. That basically means, off of falling from tall heights, she can keep the same momentum she had that she maintains when she's going down. So if you're taking a gravity cannon or you're taking a jump tower, she can basically slide and keep the same velocity and momentum. Makes her a very good movement legend, and that complements well with her tactical gravity lift, which reverses the flow of gravity and sending people into the air. This is a jack of all trades tactical. It allows you to escape, push in, wall off areas, and really just do a bunch of stuff, and it goes through walls as well, so that just increases its variability in use. You can use it to run away and escape, and you can use it to pop bats, you can use it to push with your entire team. It is very good, and that all is well complemented with their ultimate black hole, which creates a mini black hole, which is self-explanatory with her newt drone. And this is very good with comboing with tacticals, nades, stuff like that. Really good AoE effect damage. And Horizon is a really good character at complementing other characters, but by herself, she's extremely strong when it comes to her movement and variability and just overall dangerousness if she has grenades. So yeah, she's an A tier, and she's here to stay in A tier. Here we have the Loot Queen herself in A tier. We have Loba. Her passive is a bit underwhelming in Eye for Quality, where you can see loot through walls, but it really is supported by her tactical and ultimate, which is Burglar's best friend. This is an amazing, just an amazing escapability tool, repositioning tool, and just super versatile in all of its applications across the game. She can teleport to hard to reach places to escape trouble, and now with her received buffs previously, she can run with it, she can slide with it, and do all sorts of movement. So it's an extremely good escapability tool, and she can get high ground, and she's just very good at taking angles now, which makes her super aggressive and super strong on any team. Next off, we have her ultimate Black Market Boutique, which is the reason why everyone plays this character. It is the best looting ability in the game, and maybe I think it is the only looting ability in the game, but it just turns all the loot into a very large area, and it just makes it yours. More specifically, the ammo, because you can take infinite ammo from this thing, and you can starve teams of resources. You can get resources on the fly. You can use it for a team that you just survived, so they can loot up very quickly and get ready for the third party. But the only drawback that this does have is it alerts other teams to your presence, and it can attract a lot of third parties and really does give away your positioning. But she's very strong in end game, at the beginning of the game, and in the middle of the game, so she really just streamlines your looting process and make sure that the whole team is fully kitted. And when played to her maximum potential with people like Lil Scrappy and like other people that play her in tournaments, she is just crazy. She's just very crazy. The ultimate is her centerpiece, and it's what makes Loba Loba. And for that reason alone, she is an A tier. Here we have the wall hack boy himself, Bloodhound 2.0. We have Seer. This character is wall hacks. This passive allows him to see the heartbeats of enemies up to 75 meters and gives you instant information, and he's sort of an amalgamation of Bloodhound and Crypto together. He's not as strong as Bloodhound, but he does bring a lot to the table. Coming up with his tactical focus of attention, he summons micro drones to emit a delayed blast through walls, and it interrupts and reveals enemies. This tactical is insane, and it will be buffed very soon, which will allow Seer to become an even more powerful legend. This interrupts revives, healing, and ability usage, and also it reveals enemies for 8 seconds. This ability is a scan on crack when used correctly and can be extremely oppressive and be used within fights, to start fights, to get out of fights. It is a super useful tactical that deserves all the praise. It is. Here we have his ultimate exhibit, which creates a sphere of micro drones that gives you wall hacks and allows to see people moving quickly or firing within its radius. This thing is amazing for stopping teams in their tracks, getting teams to slow down, or starting fights, or third partying, or just being able to have more information. Though the only disadvantage to this ultimate would be its visibility on the map, and this will make you more prone to being attacked by other people on top of that, so be wary of using this ultimate. It is very strong, but it could have some serious drawbacks if you do not use it correctly. And all on top of this, Seer is a recon legend, which allows him to scan survey beacons and find the ring's next location, which makes him a staple on any team that needs a recon character, or more specifically a wall hack character. He is Bloodhound 2.0. He's here to stay in A/B tier. This is Seer. Alright, making her way onto A/B tier is Bangalore. She is coming equipped with the passive double time, which means when she gets shot, she moves even faster. You've seen this ability showcased by people like Shiv FPS, and it is one of the strongest passives in the game and one of the strongest movement abilities in the game. Can save your life in a lot of situations, and if used correctly in the right hands, it can make Bangalore an absolute powerhouse. And that all goes together well with a tactical smoke launcher, which fires a high velocity smoke canister that explodes and creates obscuring screen of smoke, which can act as soft cover. So in a way, Bangalore is sort of a miniature version of Gibraltar, but not as strong, and has different forms of variability when it comes to use in her tactical. Her smoke launcher can do damage, it can block off areas, it can be used for micro rotations, mini rotations, it can be used on defense to stop people from looking at you, you can smoke people to stop their vision, and it really just works well. The only thing that it has a real weakness against is against characters like Seer and Bloodhound, who literally just see through walls. And if Bangalore got a buff which gave her some counterplay against that, she probably would be a candidate for S tier. Next up, we have arguably one of the stronger pieces of her kit, Rolling Thunder, and this ultimate has been buffed and it is extremely good. It is not just a copy paste of Gibby's ultimate. It is its own individual ability that is very strong. This ability allows you to push up, cut off teams, stop third parties in their tracks, and the stun from this ability is grave. It is very grave. It is enough to deter entire teams and stop people in their tracks. Super versatile ability, and she can be played at almost any level of play, probably excluding things like tournaments, where characters like Gibby are probably more favored over her. But in terms of high level and mid level ranked and stuff like pubs, she's a very solid character. She does lean more towards the B tier, but she can also be A tier when played correctly. So for that reason, she is an A/B tier legend. Alright, here in the A/B tier, we have Wattson, a super strong defensive legend now after her recent buffs. Wattson comes equipped with the passive Spark of Genius, which allows her to stack ultimate accelerants and gets full charge off of her ultimate with one ultimate accelerant, and she slowly restores her shields over time. And this really allows her to play into her other abilities and play into that style of really hunkering down and making sure that your team stays well defended. And that all comes together well with her tactical perimeter security, which creates electrified fence nodes that can vary on distance, which damage and slow enemies. This is a force to be reckoned with. The damage is now a lot higher and the slow is now a lot more effective, and those fences come up a lot faster. This really is good for things like area denial and securing a building and saying, hey, this is mine, do not push me. If you push a Wattson through these fences, you are probably going to die. This is not a character to mess with anymore on defense. And that all comes together nicely with her ultimate interception pylon, which now is an infinite trophy system that allows you to recharge your shields of your teammates, which gives her good support capabilities and allows her to completely negate all forms of ordnance. This ranges from Revenant tacticals to arc stars to grenades to thermites to caustic ultimate to barrels. This is just the complete package ultimate on defense, and it sits there forever. So Wattson right now in her current state is really a character that is good at bunkering down and stopping super aggressive ordnance heavy pushes like Revtane if they're trying to silence your abilities or you're getting naded out. And she is very good at things like endgame and closing out games, which is why Wattson can be played at the higher elos of play and pred lobbies and mid-tier lobbies like diamond lobbies and master lobbies and somewhat in pubs, but her fun factor is kind of diminished. She is more of a defensive legend overall, which is why she is an A/B tier legend. Here in B tier / A tier, we have the Nightmare Boy himself, Revenant, who explodes onto the scene with his passive Stalker. He can crouch, walk faster, and climb damn near infinitely. This boy is crazy. But individually, Revenant isn't an extremely impressive legend, but on a team, his full power really comes out, and he is one of the most oppressive characters in the game to fight next to Caustic, and he can be extremely annoying in these situations, which is why he is an A/B tier, but more on the side of B tier because of his individual power not being so great. Next off, we have his Tactical Silence, which is basically a hard counter to every single legend in the game, applies visual distortion, which causes chaos, and is a super oppressive tactical. It used to be more oppressive, but now it's been reduced from 20 seconds down to 15 seconds, and overall, it's good at stopping characters in their tracks, a super good counter to Gibraltar in characters like Wraith that are very ability crutch, and it really just helps shut down other characters and helps you win the fight. And it also does damage on top of that. So next off, we have his ultimate Death Totem, which is an amazing ability, one of the best ultimates in the game, a good close range ability. And Death Totem basically allows a team to have 2 lives instead of 1. And it is the best third-party ability when coupled with other abilities like Jump Pad and Ashe's ultimate. It allows him to get in and get out and basically trade one of his lives for someone else's, and if your team goes and gets a knock, then you can full send in again and secure the W on whoever you're fighting. So Revenant is an A/B tier legend, but more leaning on the side of B tier. He is solid individually, but extremely strong when played on a well-coordinated team, sort of like Crypto. Here we have sort of a mixed character who is solid but super versatile in her application. We have Lifeline, the combat medic herself. Her passive deploys Dog Drone to revive, which allows Lifeline to run around and freely defend. This tactical is, when used incorrectly, can be super weak because you can expose your teammates and end up killing them, or it can be extremely strong, which is why she is an A/B tier legend. She can really transition, and her use and variability and overall power kind of depends on the person who is playing her, but when executed correctly, the character is extremely strong. So with the passive, she revives 2 people at the same time, up to a maximum of 2 people, and it can leave her to freely defend. She's a super good reset character, probably the best reset character in the game next to Gibraltar. She is a medic, and with her being a medic, she has a tactical called Dock Heal Drone, which throws out a drone super quickly, which has been recently buffed, and it allows her entire team to heal, reset, and it also acts as a form of miniature cover with the drone itself being able to block bullets. So Lifeline could throw it down in the middle of a fight and use it to block bullets and also heal at the same time, or heal their teammates. Super versatile, it's on a fair cooldown, and it really is what makes her a medic. And in her ultimate, she has really high quality defensive and offensive gear. This ultimate will now be useful at every single period of the game and will level you up all the way to gold, gold attachments, gold body armors, and now really Lifeline is just a complete character, because at every stage of the game she is now useful. Her ultimate, whether you're in the beginning or at the end of the game, will always give you something that you need and always give you something that is an upgrade to the current things that you have now. So your teammates will always be fully kitted with loot or fully kitted with good attachments, and you will be too. So that is why Lifeline makes her way into A/B tier. She's in between. She varies, but she is still a strong, solid legend overall and very noob friendly. B tiers are solid characters that need a little bit of help. Here we have the Grenadier himself. We have Walter Fitzroy Fuse, and he is here to stay in B tier. He is a solid legend, but he has some serious drawbacks and versatility issues, which is why he is not in the higher tiers of the list. In his passive Grenadier, he has the ability to stack grenades of any type in his inventory up to 2 and fire them further and faster with more accuracy. This is really good when it comes to adding like chaos or nading a team out or being really oppressive, but overall the passive does require grenades to work, so it is a lot less powerful than other passives that just work in the entirety of the game. I mean, they don't really need something else to function. On top of that, he has his tactical knuckle cluster, which fires a cluster of continuously exploding bombs that do a fair amount of damage and stay for a fair amount of time. It makes Fuse a solid character, but it doesn't really staple him because it can be avoided even though the radius of the damage taken is large. And on top of that, we have the Mother Load, which launches a bombardment that conceals people in a circle of flames. This goes well with his tactical and passive, but the only issue with Fuse is that he really does rely on grenades and ordnance to really be effective, and a character like Gibby, who doesn't really rely on grenades and can just be effective without having outside influence, is really the thing that separates Fuse from being in the higher tiers of the game, which is he is too dependent on functions within the game to be within his favor to be good. So he relies too much on being able to find grenades, and even though the tactical itself is strong, it's not gonna be a deciding factor in fights. So that is Fuse. He is hard stuck in B tier, but he is solid. Here we have the LMG queen herself, Rampart. It comes equipped with the passive modded loader, which gives her increased magazine capacity and faster reloads on all LMGs. The heavy drawback on this tactical is that the only LMG that she has that is not privy to the randomness of the game is her mobile minigun Sheila. Even though it is mobile, it is on a cooldown. So next over we have her tactical amped cover. This is probably her second strongest ability, It allows for heavy defensive and offensive capabilities. With it being set up, it's a crouch cover wall that eats a lot of damage, and it shoots amped bullets. With these amped bullets, you can increase the damage of your guns and allow to have better offensive capability. You can use this on corners, you can use this on defense, you can use it to hold down an area, but overall you're not going to really use it offensively. You're going to use it sort of passive aggressively, and that goes hand in hand well with her ultimate, the mobile minigun Sheila. This is arguably, if not her strongest ability. She comes equipped with a death machine, basically, that kills everything in its sight. It doesn't have aimbot, but it might as well have aimbot if it locks onto you, or if the Rampart has very good aim. This goes well with the tactical amped cover, which you can shoot through the amped wall itself and not get shot back at, so it allows for good cover fire and allows Rampart to truly embrace her title as a base of fire. Though she has decreased movement, or she's completely stationary when using this mobile minigun, which is why she is a hard-stuck B-tier legend. A trend you'll see across these B-tier legends is that they do have good abilities, but those abilities have strong drawbacks and have limited use in their capabilities. Here we have the holographic trickster himself, Mirage, who is the weakest character in the game, but still in B tier. Mirage is a solid character when it comes to bamboozling enemies, psyching people out, confusing people, and just throwing chaos into the mixture of it all. And he does have some teamwork capabilities with his passive Now You See Me, which allows him to revive people while cloaked and respawn people while cloaked. His tactical psych out and his ultimate life in the party go hand in hand with creating decoys that confuse and distract the enemy. And a Mirage who is able to break line of sight and really use his decoys to the fullest potential can be an offensive force to be reckoned with, but has serious weaknesses in the fact that the decoys don't provide anything truly to a gunfight. So that is Mirage. And he is in the bottom of all of the characters in the game, but he is still solid at the bottom of B tier. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully you subscribe, and I'm going to be making a lot more videos to come soon and discussing the future of my channel when it comes to Apex and other content and stuff like that. And I will be streaming on Twitch very soon. I gotta hit 10K with Gibraltar first, so in the meantime, please sub up, share the videos, like the videos, do whatever you want, and you guys have a nice day.